a huge upset. 10 Bob Tony won the Queen Anne at a huge price. They head towards the line. Great Barrier Reef retains the unbeaten Rocky.
It's Rayevka, Mission Central. Those two very tight.
Boeco and Gestard go to the line together. Boeco and Gestard.
What a thrilling start to day one of Royal Ascot. It certainly didn't disappoint. Some wonderful winners across those feature Group 1 races. Day 2 is fast approaching, but before we sink our teeth into the form, let's get you to a review of the day that was. We kicked things off with the King Charles III Stakes. It was the sprint race over the 5 furlongs. Overpass running a gallant third. Let's take in the replay.
They're racing now down inside the final furlong. Jack and Jarrow and Overpass. It's those two with Asfora back in third, staying on his Mission Central towards the near side. Mission Central on the far side. It's Rayevka and Mission Central and Rayevka. Those two very tight. Overpass. A huge run then from Heavenly Heather, who stayed on as well.
We mentioned Mission Central in that preview yesterday. Obviously was lightly raced and unexposed, but brought some really good upside, and in those colours of the Aidan O'Brien stable gets up to score and does it comfortably. Thought Overpass lost no admirers with a gallant performance into that third spot. Was in it for a long way and no doubt gave Connections a huge thrill. Speaking of Connections, let's get you to Josh Parr. He was aboard Overpass. We get his thoughts post-race.
Josh, there was a moment I thought you were coming through with a winning chance. Yeah, most definitely. He showed a really good bit of spirit here today to go through those two leaders and look the winner there at one point. He didn't get the best breakaway. He usually flies the barrier, and we were just dictated to then by the leader, and it could very well have been the difference. But very happy with his performance. Can I just ask you, because I know that you watched Jay Ford here on Takeover Target and you watched Wazir, to have the opportunity to be able to come and ride and compete so well, what was that like? Mind-blowing. I cannot speak highly enough of this whole experience. I'm so honoured to be here and competing as a jockey at Royal Ascot, and we didn't get the victory which I was so desperately after, but it's been a great performance, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, Josh Parr, a great representative for the sport, speaking really well post-race with regards to Overpass, and no doubt giving Connections a huge thrill with that third at Royal Ascot last night. Let's get into the other Group 1 replays, and we kick things off with the Queen Anne Stakes. This was a big upset in the form of 10 Bob Tony, the big flashy chestnut with the white legs, coming from behind the rest of the field to get up and score a really late swooping victory, relishing the distance. And if you backed 10 Bob Tony, well, you were most definitely well rewarded, paying upwards of $60. In terms of the 3-year-olds, they went to war in the St James's Palace. We had a short-priced favourite in the form of Boeco. It wasn't a particularly easy watch if you're on the short-priced fave because there was some buffering early. Had to come from a difficult position and had a tough run in transit. But Boeco getting the head down where it mattered in a really good, tough battle with Stard late. You could see what it meant to Billy Loughnane. It was tight on the line. When the result came through, you could see the relief for the 20-year-old at Group 1 at Royal Ascot. No doubt a huge feat. Well, speaking of winners overnight, James McDonald, the world's best jockey and New Zealander, was flying in top form and picked up a win on the first day of the carnival. There was some interesting pre-race comments with Matt Chapman. Let's have a listen to this.
He's giving McDonald detailed orders. J-Mac, I want you to forget everything that your trainer has told you here. Yeah? Now, you are arguably the greatest jockey on the planet right now. I want you to ride this horse completely cold. Forget you've heard anything about him. Ride him out the back, crawl in and pounce late. What did he tell you to do?
How many winners are you ready?
Off you go. Where did Francis go? Francis, can I just... What have you told J-Mac to do here? Because I want him to ride it cold out the back.
Ride him the way you know how to ride horses, because he's a champion anywhere in the world, you know. So
if he rides him cold out the back, are you happy with that? Turn of foot.
Yeah, very strong turn of foot. I just let him tell him not to dictate him anything. Just let the horse do, and then he will quicken strongly.
Okay, James, just remember what you've been told, and good luck, and don't mess this up.
the course, but Galen has got a little bit more in his pocket. He still leads the way to Wimbledon Hawkeye, who gives chase in second. Down the wide outside, Map of Stars, despite hanging away to the right, is putting in a power pack punch, and it's now Wimbledon Hawkeye in the centre. On the near side, Map of Stars surges to the lead. He goes on by half a length, racing out towards the line. Map of Stars wins. Wimbledon Hawkeye was second, it's tight for third. Dividend Standside, Persica from a mile back between horses.
They're on the board, courtesy of Map of Stars, who rather worryingly, James followed the instructions given to him by Matt Chapman, didn't he? Oh no.
Well done. You gave him the instructions. Only help the team.
Well, I wonder after that if James McDonald will be calling on Matt Chapman for some more pre-race tactics over the coming days. James with some good rides across the next few days, and great to see him getting a winner on day one. Speaking of upcoming racing, let's get you across to a market for the feature on day two. It is the Prince of Wales Stakes at Group 1 level, and as you can see, favouritism is sort of split between Ombudsman and Deriz. Let's start with Ombudsman, because of course he was the winner of this race last year, and it was in pretty impressive fashion too. You can see via this replay, he's at the back in the Godolphin colours, he's stuck on heels. He has to come out and get across the rest of the field and does it comfortably. He's trained by John and Thady Gosden. He's of course coming into this off the back of the Group 1 Dubai Turf and Group 3 Big Brigadier Gerard Stakes, so it brings good form to the race, and obviously he looks like one of the key contenders in the Prince of Wales Stakes. He's got competition though, and that is in the form of Deriz. Deriz, of course, brings a Group 1 winning form as well. He's on a 3-race winning streak that includes the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. I guess interestingly around this horse is that he has met Ombudsman previously. Ombudsman won the race. Deriz finished at the tail of the field. His best form is in France, in those Paris area tracks. Has to come to Royal Ascot and deliver, but certainly arrives at the race with the confidence sky high. Speaking of confidence, we get you to a look at Stradivarius, one of wonderful horses that have won at Royal Ascot. He used the Queen's Vase to catapult himself to top-line success.
Approaching the final furlong and a half, Count Octave, a narrow lead over Time to Study. Stradivarius now bursting through. Black Jacket, out wide Secret Advisor. Belgravia runs on. Stradivarius wearing away at Count Octave, well inside the last, and Stradivarius goes on to win the Vase. Stradivarius just from Count Octave in second, tied for third. But
to get used to riding a lot of short-priced horses, so I think it doesn't really matter if you just meander into lane 3 or lane 4, and it does matter a lot. And I think Stradivarius got a very, very good ride from Outsani, and he isn't a straightforward character entirely. And mugging as he did Octave late on, I think Count Octave's got a bright future. I think I might.
One of the most famous winners of the Queen's Vase, Stradivarius, of course, a 7-time Group 1 winner. He finished up 18 total group wins, 4 Goodwood Cups, 3 Ascot Gold Cups, and of course, as we saw there, the Queen's Vase as well. This year's edition of the Queen's Vase over the 2,847 metres will be 2:05 a.m. start time. An interesting thing to note in this race is the 7 in Point of Law, who races in the King's colours. Last time that there was a Royal Ascot winner for the King, that was back in 2023 when Desert Hero was successful. In terms of the form that Point of Law brings, well, certainly has upside. Kicked off the career with a lovely win in maiden company at Newbury. Only a 3rd start at Royal Ascot this evening, but does look to have plenty of upside, does the 7 in Point of Law. Best of luck to the connections when it comes to the Queen's Vase for this year. Let's have a look at the schedule for tonight, the overview of what you can expect on day 2 of Royal Ascot. And just again, that 7-race programme with the feature race being the Prince of Wales Stakes over the 2,004 metres. Outside of that, some other great racing on the undercard. James McDonald, if you're keeping a watch on his rides, the world's best jockey, the Kiwi, will be aboard Alta Regina in race number 1 and in race 5, number 6 at $9.50. He's already on the board with a winner. Let's hope they continue over the coming days. That's it for day 2 preview of Royal Ascot. Enjoy the racing coming your way via Trackside.